one day I was the most hardcore, out of control person with an addiction. When I got out of prison there at 18 and relapsed right away, I continued to use for decades. Until about 20 years ago. By then I was homeless, sleeping on someone's kitchen floor in the inner city of Cincinnati with my girlfriend. At the time I was on the 10 most wanted list in Cincinnati for prescription forgery and parole violation. I had already served time in 3 different states at that point, twice for the federal government. I had hepatitis C. Not surprisingly, I was contemplating suicide. Not a lot of hope at that point. Obviously, my attempt failed. But when I got out this time, something different happened. I was introduced at that point to what they now call medication-assisted treatment. And there was a new medication at the time called Suboxone, buprenorphine. I start this medication, and I got to tell you, for me, this was such a drastic change. Literally from one day to the next. One day I was the most hardcore, out of control person with an addiction. The next day I was sane, I was stable, I was motivated, and I was amazed. Within a couple weeks I had a little job, telemarketing. Now that in itself was a big thing. That was a turning point. The bigger thing was that it introduced me to a whole new circle of people where I was able to start making human connections. Because that's the gist of recovery. That allowed me to start overcoming the unbearable aloneness that an addict feels, the isolation that was brought on by the labels and the shame and the stigma. Especially important to note is that I went into that job label-free, not sharing who I was until people got to know me. Then I started experiencing new labels. Suddenly I was the hard worker, the good salesman. I was the skydiving guy. I was the vegetarian. Because for some odd reason, I quit eating meat before I even quit drugs. It's okay to shoot heroin, but heaven forbid you get me near red meat, right? An addict's thinking.